it was like the perfect thing that I needed to do or like I wanted to do, and that was how I just got into design. And since then, I took trainings. I think I joined. I can't remember their names. HN no, it was not HNG. Zuri, yes, Zuri, and then I went through the Google UX course, and that's how I became a designer. And since then, I've just been going from one job to the other, here and there. So yeah, that's how my journey have been. It's been.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So, t- tell us about mentorship. Like when you started your journey, right? Did you have a mentor, or at any point did you consider or try getting a mentor to guide you through your journey?
Yeah, I had a mentor. I had a mentor, and he's my husband now. We got married last year. So, um, I just when I first started, it wasn't as easy as it is for me now. I mean, I've always been a researcher, like so the UX part of design was easy, right? But the other aspects of design, the UI, my God, that was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. So I couldn't just figure out the colors, how to blend colors, when to use what, when not to use what, how to lay out the pages, and all of those things. So I just knew that I had to find a mentor. And luckily for me, a mentorship came around and I just joined. So I saw one on Twitter. I can't remember exactly who was hosting it, but yeah. So I saw one on Twitter and I applied and I was assigned to a mentor, and he helped me. Like he really helped me a great deal. I was able to understand everything that I was having problems with. Sometimes I would shadow him, I would watch him design, I would um follow him. Oh my god, look, he left. He left. Okay, he's back. Okay. Okay, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm so sorry. I don't know. I missed your the response to the question I asked. I don't know if you can take it again. Tell me about your journey, like having a
Okay,
mentor
yeah.
in your career.
Yeah, you were asking if I had a mentor, and I said yes, I had a mentor earlier in my career. And um, I said the UX part of design has always been easy for me because I've been doing research since 2012. That's roughly 13 years now. Maybe, yeah, 13 years.
Hmm.
So it was easy. The UX part was easy, but what was difficult was the UI part. It's sometimes I still think I find UI more difficult than UX. Maybe it's just the imposter syndrome thing, but yeah, my mentor helped me a great deal. Like I would watch him design. I would see how he blends colors. I remember asking him, "How do you know when to use what?" You know, and he was like, "Yeah, don't worry. With time you'll get it. With time you get it." And finally, I actually got it. So yeah, I had a mentor. I had a mentor,
So,
and it was really helpful.
how did you meet this mentor? What prompted you to look for or seek a mentor?
I knew I needed a mentor. I knew I needed it because I was obviously having problems. Like I said, the UI was a nightmare to me. I didn't know how to know what color to use, when to use what, how to lay out pages, and all of those things. I think for over a year designing, I still had issues with that. I would always reach out to him and say, "How do I do this? How do I do that?" And with time, I got so I stumbled on a mentorship on Twitter, and I just applied, and I was given a mentor who is now my husband. So
Oh wow, what a story!
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. 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 Yeah. So, what really is mentorship, right? I think people have their own understanding or a general what's it called now perspective of what mentorship is. But from you, someone who has mentored a lot of people, thousands of designers, right, over the years, what really would you define from your experience that this is what really mentorship is, as against general perception of mentorship?
Okay. I think that the way I would define mentorship would be guidance, right? Would just be,
Okay.
that's like the simplest way to put it, would be guidance. So someone who is guiding you from a point to the other. That's what I would define mentorship as. So, but there is a difference between mentorship and coaching. You know, between mentoring and coaching, there is always a difference. Yes, coaching is more handheld. So, like, I don't tell you to go and do this. I help you learn how to do it. I help you understand why you're doing it, how to do it, and what to do when you have challenges. So, coaching is more guided than mentorship, right? But most people believe that, oh, I got a mentor, he's supposed to be a coach, but it doesn't work that way, right? So if you spell out something, most people understand mentorship as coaching. So it's safe to just use the word mentorship, right? So yeah,
Yeah. So I think from what you said, the general perception or understanding of what mentorship is, it's actually coaching because people expect that one-to-one guidance, like being available for them every day, every weekend, right?
every
But from what you're
yeah,
saying now, mentorship is
yeah.
just like somebody giving you directions, right? Being able to ensure
Mm-hmm.
that you are making progress. But of course, they may not be there to always hold your hand to get things done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Thank you so much. So yeah, do you believe or do you think that every designer needs a mentor? At what point, right, would you recommend that a designer should get a mentor for their career, for their journey?
I don't think every designer should get a mentor. I think everybody on earth should get a mentor. Doesn't matter
Okay.
what you're doing. There's always someone
Okay.
who knows better than you. Except there are, I feel like there are people who are born natural mentors in a way that they are the ones who discover things. They are the ones who test things and say, okay, this is the right way to go. They've because they've tested, they know how to fail. They failed, they've succeeded, so they know how to tell you, oh, don't do this because when I did it, I failed, and this was why I failed, right? So I don't think that a designer I don't think it's just a designer thing. I think it's an everybody thing. So far you are doing something, there's always someone who knows better than you. So you just figure out which aspects are you lacking and then find someone who knows better than you in that aspect and make the person your mentor. That's how it should really be. I usually say that you can outgrow your mentor, but you can't outgrow mentorship, right?
Mm.
Because let's say, for instance, when I talked about my journey, I said I used to have problem with UI, right? And then
Mhm.
I finally figured out how to do my UI. My mentor was no longer relevant as a mentor to me because he focused on UI for me. So if I had other issues, and I would naturally tell him, okay, this is where I'm having issues, and then he can tell me, okay, I can't help you here. I can refer you to someone who can help you. So at that point in time,
Yeah.
I've outgrown him as a mentor because the need has been solved for me. So I would naturally want to move on to another thing because our needs evolve. Everything evolves. When you solve this problem, another one comes up, and when you solve that, another one comes up. So you can't outgrow mentorship. You just
Mm.
outgrow your mentor because the problem has been fixed, the need has been solved.
Cool. I think that's very interesting take, really. Right. So from what you're saying is, do you think so instead of I'm going to also focus on design here, right? I know you said that
Sure,
everybody on earth
sure.
needs a mentor. Yes, that's the point
Mhm.
we're going to highlight. But let's come back to designers and focus on creatives basically. So from what you said now, do you think, all right, or how do you think people should approach mentorship? I know we may have a question around that somewhere down the line, but for now, so let's say as a designer, right, you made mention of UI, right? Should designers look at their strengths and what they're doing right now? Like, okay, these are the areas where I need to grow, right? So instead of looking for one person who I would say this is my mentor. I can look for somebody who can mentor me in this area. Maybe I need somebody who's going to help me with UI, for instance. Maybe I need somebody who's going to be my mentor when it comes to no code because I'm looking to explore no code tools. So I can have different mentors in different areas to help me learn. So, because I know the typical
Exactly.
mindset of people today is I want a mentor, so I'm looking for that one person who is all encompassing, who's going to like just teach me everything I need to know.
You're looking for
But from your
Jesus.
yeah, but from what you said now, it's a very, very profound way to think of mentorship or getting mentors. So you don't actually need to look for that one person who knows it all. Know what you are looking
Exactly.
to learn, the area you're looking to grow into or grow on, then look for somebody who has
Yeah.
that knowledge. And okay, thank you so much for
Mhm.
sharing that. Thank you so, so much
Yeah,
for sharing that.
it's you need a certain level of self-awareness to be able to tell yourself, okay, I don't know this, I need help in this area, I need help in that area. Because if I had gone to my mentor and I said, I want you to teach me UX, I don't, pardon me, I don't want to throw shades at anybody, but I don't think there's anybody who can teach UX better than I do today, because I have 13 years of experience as a researcher. And you know that the bedrock of UX is research, right? And there are so many nuances of research that we don't know
Yeah.
about. And I've been doing this for years, right? So when I say I don't think there is anybody who can teach UX better than me, I mean, I stand to be corrected, but you understand the point. For the sake of this point that I'm making right now, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't go to someone who doesn't really understand research and say, teach me UX research. They wouldn't really, understand all the nuances to be able to teach me research the way I understand it now. But if I gone to someone and say, okay, I've learned UI, but I want business context. How does design play when it comes to business? What's design's role in business? Then I'll look for someone. I would no longer be looking for a designer. I'll be looking for someone who understands business and design, which most of the time, some designers are not really in that field. So you look for someone who may be a designer who has really stayed in businesses long enough to go from zero to scale, right? Or maybe just someone who has been in business from zero to scale, not necessarily a designer, and then they guide you on how businesses work from zero to scale. And then you can now ask yourself, okay, how does design come into play? Or you can now ask the person, how do you think design would come into play? So I don't think it's a mentorship is a proactive process, it's a proactive journey for both the mentee and the mentor. You don't just sit and wait for things to happen. You have to constantly seek out things that are happening, seek out things before they even happen. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think I now understand why. I don't know why network has been preventing us from having this session because there's so much light, so much knowledge to share, but we must get it out, right? So
Yes, we
yeah,
must.
like
We must.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your perspective when it comes to mentorship. All right, so
Okay, thank
I think this basically speaks to what I was going to ask next. Like, what I okay, I should still ask because there may be more. Right. So, what are some misconceptions, common misconceptions that people have about mentorship? I know first of all we have differentiated mentorship from coaching, and also we have from what you said now. You spoke about like not really micro mentorship, but like you can have multiple mentors on for different areas of your career or whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing, right? So those are two areas I know you've addressed. But are there more areas where you think that people have some misconceptions about mentorship that you want to share?
Well, there are different things that I've seen or that I've perceived, right? When it comes to mentorship, people think that the mentor, let me start from the mentor before I go to the mentee. The mentor believes that the mentee is the one who needs the help. So they should always come to me when they have a problem. And it causes this rift where mentees are looking up to the mentor to say, okay, come, let me teach you one new thing today. And then the mentor is not teaching because they believe that the mentee would come when they have problem. So it's like I have a mentor, but we're not communicating, right? Each both parties are waiting for each for them for this person is waiting for this person is waiting for this person to reach out. So it doesn't really work that way. That's why I believe in structured mentorship. So instead of me waiting for someone to reach out, I structure the mentorship and say, this is how we're going to go forward. This is what the expectations are. This is how we're going to move forward. So from the mentee's aspect, what they typically do is they will sit down and wait for the mentor to hold them and say, come, let us go this way. And then they follow. Come, let us go that way. And then they follow. They seem to forget most times that this person who is teaching you was not born because of you. They have other things they're doing in their lives, right? And so you don't expect the person to always think about you, especially now when everybody is on the move. Even when you're sleeping, you're thinking of the next thing you're going to do. You know,
Yeah.
like life is happening to everybody right now. So you don't expect that other people would just have you in mind because, I mean, it's just mentorship. And especially when you're not paying, you can't have expectations. You can't be entitled to someone's time, right? People don't, I remember when I first started mentorship, someone asked me, why will it be paid? Why will I pay you so that you will mentor me? I say it's not your fault. I don't blame you because I'm taking 2 hours every week. You are not the only person. Once people see that it's free, most people want to join. And the zeal with which they start is not always the zeal with which they end. Maybe the first 2 weeks they will just be coming back to back. From third week they will disappear. So, how do I, as a mentor, track my success? How do I know, okay, this person is doing very well, this person is not doing very well? Because everything is, whatever you measure improves, right? So, if I'm not able to track, I can't have a process. If I'm not able to know what is going on, I can't have a process. And that's why my mentorship is paid. I don't want people would who would not take it seriously. I want people who are serious about the mentorship because I feel like if you pay me, I mean, obviously, the money is nothing compared to what you're getting. But if you pay me, you have a certain form of commitment, and I know that you stick to it. And so far, all of my mentees, they all complete my sessions. They all complete the sessions. Sometimes they even renew because they're serious about what they are here for. So it's always good. I feel like the best thing to do to overcome all these situations is to have expectations spelt out at the beginning. It's like when you want to when you want to go into a project, you have to sign a contract, right? You have to say, okay, this is what you're going to give us. You have to get on a call and align towards the goal. What's the goal here? But most people just get into mentorship and think that, okay, I'm here for mentorship. Let's start. I asked someone reached out to me yesterday and said, I want you to be my mentor. I said, okay, what do you want me to mentor you on? And he said, everything. I can't mentor you in everything. I can teach you how to do makeup. Would you want that? It's part of everything. But people don't understand that you have to define. You need to define every relationship, especially a mentee mentor relationship. Because I mean, if whenever there is no label or there is no definition, people would act based on what they think and not what the reality is. But if we discuss and then we both have alignment, we say, okay, this is where we are, this is where we're going to. Now everybody knows what we're
Yeah.
trying to do, right? But when there is no conversation around those things, it's like we just enter a boat wherever it sails us to, we go. It's just funny, but life doesn't work that way. So yeah,
Wow. Can you hear me?
yeah, I
Are
can
you
hear
there?
you.
Okay, because I
Yeah,
think just okay. So
I saw what you
let me
said.
jump.
Yeah.
let me just do a bit of recap for mentorship. So one of the things you missed out to highlight is that mentors need to understand that their mentor is not just available solely to them, right? And of course, the last bit just talked
Wait,
about
hold on.
appreciations.
I can't pick what you're saying
Okay.
anymore. It's
How is it now?
oh, way better.
Okay, I just wanted it to look good for the camera. Anyways, let me go back. So I was trying to recap what you said, right? Because you said a number of things. I think one of them is that mentees need to understand that mentor is not available solely for you 24/7, right? And also you
Exactly.
highlighted the importance of paying because when people don't pay, they don't value it, right? I think you give an example of somebody who paid, or somebody was asking why they should pay, right? But the importance of paying is that when you pay, you tend to stick around and value the
Hmm.
time spent. And I
Yeah.
think finally you spoke about, I think I've made the last point you spoke about now. Yeah, okay. Well, the importance of the need to have direction, right? So if you are coming to you or someone is coming to me or anybody for mentorship, you need to know what exactly you're looking to achieve from that mentee mentorship relationship. That is the
Hmm.
goal, right? Yes,
Yeah.
that's very important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very,
Thank you so
very
much.
important.
All right. So yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Now, so I know today, right, people look at Twitter, look at LinkedIn, and also they go for events and they see people who they admire, and they're like, okay, I want this person to mentor me. But from your experience, right, with mentees and also fellow mentors, right, what does a right mentor look like? How do I know if yes, I see this person, I think they have what it takes to fill the gap in my understanding, but how do I know if they're the right mentor for me?
You can't know from looking at the person's face. You have to have a conversation,
Okay.
right? So, let's say, for instance, I need a mentor in business, and I see someone who handles business the way that I handle business, and then I reach out to this person, and they say they're not available. I wouldn't force them to be my mentor, right? So there are so many things to look at when you want to find out if someone is the right mentor for you. Is that both of you have same values and belief. You have time availability for each other, and you can pay the money the person is asking you to pay. It's very important because if someone is mentoring you and the person asks you to pay in dollars and the person is telling you, okay, I charge $1,500 a month, or I charge $100 for an hour. You as a Nigerian, you will know where you get before you can pay $100 an hour for mentorship now. You know, that's
Yeah.
about 150,000
Yeah.
naira. 150,000 naira
Yeah.
for just 1 hour. It doesn't make like you wouldn't equate what you'll be getting to that amount. It wouldn't just make sense to you. So there are so many people think that it's just based on, oh, I like the way this person speaks. Oh, I like this person's content. That's not what makes a mentor. That's you looking at the imperfection, you're looking at the surface. You're not looking at what makes a mentor the right mentor for you. So what would make a mentor the right mentor for you would be that they're available, they have your time. When you reach out, they can pay attention to you. And the only time to know that, to be very well assured that that is going to happen, is when you pay. So the right mentor for you is the right mentor you can pay. The right mentor. And sometimes it might not even be, I know people that they love to impact, they love to teach, but it's difficult for them to pick people because when people get into the mindset of a mentee, they don't know, let's say, give and take relationship. And I'm not talking about money right now. I'm talking about other things that you can give. Respect for the person's time, the person's values, and the fact that they're here for you without you giving anything in return. I've had someone who just reached out just for me to give feedback, and the person was very rude. I had to block her because I value, yes, I'm very picky when it comes to people that I allow into my space. I love my peace. I don't joke with it. I need to be fresh of the Lord. So
Yeah.
I had to block her. The just simple things that you can do that doesn't even require you to spend money, right?
Mm.
If you don't know this person, you can't know what the person values. Sometimes what people would value for them to teach you might just be, please be available. There was a mentor that I reached out to one time in the past, and it was like, I don't do free mentorships anymore because people who I've done free mentorships for, they don't value my time. So you set a meeting with someone and you don't show up. You don't inform the person early, oh sorry, something came up, I'm not going to be able to show. And you just ghost the person. Then 1 week later you reach out again. Really, who are you? Like who are you? And you expect
Yeah,
to still get that same level of attention. It doesn't work that way. It's
true.
just if I have a date with someone and we fix a date and I dress up from my house and go to the venue and I wait for 1 hour and the person is not there. It doesn't make sense. And the person didn't inform me. And then if I try to call, your phone number is not going through. Even if you were kidnapped, I mean, sorry, like I'm just going to the extremes of scenario. Even if you were kidnapped, except you're kidnapped, that situations you can't help, right?
Yeah.
But if you have situations you can't help, you should aim to always reach out as quickly as possible to explain yourself and just apologize, and everybody's gonna be okay. I had someone that I taught design. This person was learning design for 1 year. Design that was supposed to be like 3 months. The program was 3 months, but because this month he will disappear, and you reach out, he doesn't respond. Then after 2 months, I'm not even joking with the timeline. After 2 months, he'll reach out to you and say, "Can we have a session tomorrow?" As in, how? How?
Was it paid?
You know, it was paid. It was paid, but I
Oh,
mean, it was earlier on. It was earlier on. He was the first person who paid me for mentorship, and the money was. It wasn't. The money did not have head. Did not go anywhere. You
yeah, very
understand?
small. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was something that he could easily do away with, and that was why he was not that
yeah.
committed. So over the years, over time, I've come to understand that when people pay for something, they value it. So it's best for my own sanity and for your own good, so that you get the goal that you're trying to get. Just pay, so that everybody will be fine.
Okay, so I think that just on this last point of even paying, so when somebody even pays for mentorship, right, there still needs to be ground rules, right? So it doesn't
Of
mean that
course.
because you paid, you can just bump into me. So there has to be like a schedule or something to work with. So and violations, if there are violations, there should be consequences. More like you working with a client on a project. So the fact
Of
that they
course.
pay doesn't mean that they can start adding scope and what's called scope creeping or adding features as they want. Okay,
Exactly.
so talking about let me just I like doing recaps, right? Because somebody may just join towards the end of the conversation and they may miss the initial part of what you said in response
Yeah.
to what I asked. But I think
Sure.
when talking about the right mentor, you spoke about that you have to ensure that the person have values that align with yours. What about if you I don't know if you respond to this. What if the mentee is someone who's very early in their career journey life and they may not really have values, right? Of course, they are still growing. I think one of the things you said was to look for someone whose value align with you, right? And also, not everybody you see out there should be a mentor. But in terms of reaching out, what are some healthy ways you can approach someone to be a mentor, right? Should you just send somebody a DM on social media? Should you walk up to them? Like, what are the ways you recommend to go about this mentor mentorship thing?
Okay. Let me address the first point you made. The one you said, what if they are it's still early in their career and they don't know their values? Values has nothing to do with mentorship. Doesn't have anything to do with your career. It has everything to do with the kind of person you are. For instance, if I value, not if you fix a session with me and the session is by 6, I expect you to be there 5 minutes before 6, because I will be, right? And we can catch up with that 5 minutes before we start our session. So these are values. It has nothing to do with our career. I value honesty. I value on time. Um, I don't know how to put it. Being early. I value you respecting my time. All these things, it has everything to do with you as a person, and another thing to do with your career. So that's why I say, because at the end of the day, you're not um you're having a human to human relationship, not career to career relationship. It's the human you're communicating with. It's the human that you're speaking to. Everything you do is with the human being. So you need to make sure that the human being is someone who you share similar beliefs with. For instance, if you find a mentor who is a racist, that's not going to go well, right? It's not going to go well, especially if I mean, if you're of black skin and you feel like they're going to be racist towards you, when they make some comments, even if they did not intend it that way, you take offense just because you feel that it's directed towards you. So it would be counterproductive if you go that way. So about the question of how do you reach out to people? Well, this reaching out it's a whole ball game. It's a different ball game altogether. So the way that I see reaching out is you just seeking attention. So what can you do to get my attention the most? If I have 170,000 followers on LinkedIn, it will be hard for you to get my attention on LinkedIn. And if I have 170,000 followers on LinkedIn and I have, say, 1,000 followers on Twitter, you would get my attention more on Twitter than you would on LinkedIn, because the chances of me getting regular DMs on Twitter will be way reduced as compared with LinkedIn, right? So if I'm more active on LinkedIn, I would have more people reaching out, and your message will have a higher chance of being swallowed in the noise. So reaching out is, how can you best get this person's attention? That's the way I see it. I mean, legally, respectfully, how can you best get this person's attention? It's not something like I have a template for or a rule for. It's just things change with time. What might get my attention might be different from what will get another person's attention. Tagging me in a post might get my attention. Tagging another person in a post might not get their attention, because right now, VA is a very common thing, right? What if the person is not the person handling her account? What if it's a VA that is handling the account? And the instruction is, anybody who seems like they want to buy from me, ignore them. And then you tag me in a post. They're definitely going to ignore you because they don't have the context. They're not, I mean, the VA is not the person. So
Yeah,
you just follow that set rule. So yeah, it's just ask yourself, how can I best get this person's attention? And the only way to know really is when you read this person's posts, when you see the way this person behaves, you can, analyze and say, okay, I think that if I do something like this, I'll get this person's attention.
cool.
Sometimes I enroll in some people's program just to get their attention. If it's a fee I can do away with, I can pay just to get your attention. I do it a lot. I do it a lot. So because I know that once I pay, you
That's
send me an email and then you tell me to reply, and then I will reply you. So it's just how creative can you be?
that's very, very, very useful. So what you're saying is
Yeah.
study the person who you want to mentor you and look for creative ways to get their attention. Of course, in places where you think that if you reach out to them, they would respond. So if they have a lot of following on Twitter or LinkedIn, they most likely will respond to you there. So you have to look for creative ways to, even if it means paying for their programs and showing up, at least you now have an opportunity to let your get your requests across to them. Wow.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I really
It's my
like the way
pleasure.
you are going in depth with this, and it goes to show why you came in highly recommended and why people keep saying that your mentorship classes are very
Oh,
good. So it's showing, like it's evident. Okay.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
do you have I know you made mention of maybe okay, no, I'm not sure that's what you intended, but let me say this. What are some red flags that you should look out for when choosing a mentor? So you see this person, you've gone through their posts, and you're like, okay, I think this person has the knowledge I require or I need. But how do you identify the red flags that can make you maybe look somewhere else? Or what are some red flags that you
Conversation.
should look out for? Okay,
Conversations. Conversations, either with the person or with someone who has gone through their program.
okay,
And you should know your own personal red flags. Like I say, values is a thing of personality. So if I if I already know that this person is going to I already know that this person has values that would or behaves in a certain way that I don't think would be okay with me. There is no need reaching out to the person. Or if I know that this person, like say person A went through the mentorship of person B, I can go to person A and say, hey, I want to join this person's mentorship. What do you think about them as a person? How do they behave? Right? Because me, I'm very, very particular with the way people behave, right? Because I like to communicate with people I can freely talk to, right? I don't want someone who, if I'm trying to talk to you, I would be choosing my words carefully. I'll be biting what I want to say, or I would first of all have a session before I have a session with you. Like I have a mental session on this is what I would say, this is what I should not say, mark those kind of things. You know, someone that make you walk on eggshells. I don't think that would be the right mentor for you. There's you look for people who you can easily be open with, people who you can easily ask questions, and you know that no matter how stupid your question is, you're going to get a response. So red flags are not a thing of rule, it's a thing of who would you want to enter this relationship with. It's just like every other relationship. It's like a man and woman kind of relationship. It's like a romantic relationship, right? You wouldn't just go into a relationship with everybody. And the thing is, some of the time you don't know who what your red flags would be until you go in and then you see for yourself what your red flags would be. I mean, most of us we date the first person and then the second person and then the third person, right, before you end up in a marriage. And why it didn't work out with the first person was because there was a red flag which you didn't see earlier. With the second person there was a red flag which did not happen in the first person. That's why people come out now and they give rules like, oh, if he's not making 15 million naira he cannot date me, because they've seen red flags with other people, right?
yes.
And it's
Mhm.
you can't know your red flags until you have these conversations, until you go in. So, except you have a high level of self awareness, that way you already know what you can and cannot take. So,
Okay, so
I
doing
hope that makes
a
sense.
bit of summary. Yeah, it does. Makes a lot of sense. Doing a bit of summary, one of the things you said is conversation. So have a conversation with someone who they have mentored before, right? So that can help you give some form of context. Then also look for ways to get to know them, areas where they've places where they've shared their thoughts, their ideologies, and also you can know them there. Then possibly if you can try out, maybe do a one month mentorship with them before you go all in to see if they are the kind of person that you can what's it called now? I don't know, who
Yeah.
can mentor you. So I think yeah, I think that summarizes everything you are trying to say, but very good points. Thank you. Okay, so
Thank you.
let me see. In terms of setting expectations, right, in a mentor-mentee relationship, um, who who do you think should what's it called now? I don't know. What do you think about it? Should the mentee be the one to say, I have expectations, this is what I expect from this engagement, or the mentor should be like, okay, this is how I run my mentorship. How does that relationship or that conversation work?
Well, if the mentee has a high level of self awareness. They already know what they expect, right? Because, like I said, you have to define these things before you go out looking for a mentor. So, let's say you've searched yourself and you've seen that where you need help with is prototype, right? And then you go look for a mentor who is very high level with prototype. Like you see them posting prototypes every day. They create new ones. They create new ones. Create very creative ones. You already have expectation of what you already have expectation. This person is going to teach me prototype. Sorry, excuse me. This person is going to teach me prototype, and I'll get high level like this, like he does. That's your expectation, right? So, and when you're going into that mentorship, that's the only thing you usually have in mind. But then you attend the first call and the person missed it and did not inform you earlier. And then comes back 30 minutes later to say, hey, sorry, I was in a meeting, I got caught up. Now you know a second expectation. Please tell me earlier if you're going to be in a meeting and you think that it may exceed the time so that I prepare in case I don't see you early.
Okay.
I mean, anybody can have expectations. Whether, in fact, everybody, we all have expectations, whether you voice it out or not, whether you know it or not, right? We all have expectations. So both people can have expectations. That's why the first call for mentorship is not supposed to be mentoring you. It's supposed to be aligning with your goals, setting expectations for both parties. It's not a one-sided thing. There is no relationship that is one-sided. It's a two people in one thing. So, and two people who have different backgrounds, upbringing, eh, cultural beliefs, different things, coming together, and even siblings that grew up in the same family do not agree on so many things. How much more someone who doesn't even have the same upbringing and values with you? So, I mean, the expectations, they go both ways. Mentors should have an expectation.
Yeah.
Mentees should have an expectation. They ask these questions on the first call. They align and say, okay, this is how we're going to go going forward. It's a mutual agreement thing, whether you're paying or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So,
Yeah, my
um,
pleasure.
as you evolve, so let's say you have a mentor and you, of course, you continue growing in your career. How does the relationship evolve? Does it get to a point where you feel like, okay, I know you mentioned early in the conversation that you can outgrow your mentor, right? But I don't know, what's your take on the relationship evolving as you grow?
Well, the relationship will evolve as you grow. It will. It's not a matter of will it, it's a matter of when it does, right?
Okay.
And that's why my mentorship has timeline. I expect that at the end of 3 months, you should have evolved. That means you were at a point where you didn't know these things, and now you know these things. So, what do you do going forward? So, it's for you to actually spell it out. You, the mentee, spell it out. After I learn this, what am I going to do? You, the mentor, what do I want to do? So when you spell it out, when you see that you've learned it, you now ask your mentor, okay, now that I've learned this is what I think I want to do. What do you think about it?
Okay.
And if the mentor has a business with that mentoring, they wouldn't just let you go like that because they would want to, I mean, most of the time they want to sell something else to you or they want you to refer someone to them. So most of the time they don't let you go. So even if there is no active relationship, I mean, there is no way you'll be talking to
Hello? All right, so I'm just hanging in there if you're following live. This session has been very, very insightful. I know you're getting so much value, but let's just wait a few seconds till I guess joins back. I think maybe something has to do with network. I don't know, but she's going to be joining real quick. So just hang in there. But just to do a bit of recap on what she's saying, she's talking about um Of course, you spoke about when it comes to expectations as a mentee, you should have expectations going to a mentor or mentee relationship. Or if you're looking for a mentor, you should have expectations of what you're looking to achieve and how you expect the engagement to be like. And of course, as a mentor, you also should have expectations from the mentee to ensure that there's value at the end of the day for both parties. Then I think she spoke about what she left now, so she's going to come back, of course. When it comes as you grow in your career, right, that the relationship will definitely evolve. So even if you've learned what it is that brought you there,
I'm
you
back.
also okay. Yeah, welcome back. I was just doing a bit of recap before you came back. What happened? The network, your PC died.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Network just keeps misbehaving.
Okay, so I think you were talking about what's it called now? What like mentors can upsell other services they have to you if the
Oh, yeah,
if you've achieved your goal. And also you spoke about the fact that they can also ask for recommendations, but typically mentors would just to they wouldn't just want to have you go, right?
exactly.
So that's
They
how the
wouldn't.
relationship
They
can
wouldn't
evolve. Yeah.
because they would expect you to. I mean, as I said, if it's a business, right? If it's a business, they would expect you to either join the next program to get better or
Mhm.
to send someone their way. So most of the time, they wouldn't just let you go, even if they're not actively reaching out to you. They still have your contacts, they still have your details, right? And when they feel like okay, and then they reach out to you. So for the mentee, it's a different ball game. They can just go and disappear, right? But
Yeah.
for me, I don't think it's anything that anyone should take personal. It's life. Life happens. We'll move on as quickly as possible. Even when someone dies, we still move on. You can't mourn someone forever, right? Not
Yeah.
to even talk about when the person is still alive. Just you don't have need for the person anymore. So it's not a matter of will it happen. It's a matter of when it happens. It will happen.
Okay.
So
All
yeah.
right. Yeah. So let's talk to mentees, right? Because I know they're the ones hoping to get so much value from this session. So how do you
Okay.
maintain as a mentee now, right? How do you maintain a balance in a mentorship relationship such that you are not overly, how do you balance learning and dependency on your mentor? What that means is, how do you know, should you always be asking for help from your mentors, or there are points where you should, I don't know, figure out stuff yourself? Like, how do you create a balance to ensure you're not overly dependent? I like the fact
This
that
one
you're
is
thinking about this one.
kind of dicey because
We, we can come back to it anyway. If you want to go
yes,
ahead, you can.
because for me, I am the one who sets. Yeah, for me, I'm the one. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay.
I
So
can hear you.
for
Yeah.
me, I'm the one who balances these things. I'm the one who does the balancing, right? When I mentor you, I balance things. I make you independent of me. I mentor in a way that when I'm not there, you know what to do. I mentor you to be independent. So it's not everyone who is resourceful like that. And I would always ask you, especially if you're not paying me and you have a problem and you come to me, I'll ask you, what have you done to solve your problem? You have to have done something. You can't just have a problem and the first thing you're thinking is who to reach out to. In this world where information is everywhere. I mean, like if you basically go on Google right now, in fact, with AI, ChatGPT is there, Claude is there, DeepSeek is there, Grok is there. These things have direct access to the internet, and you're still looking for uh, a human being to teach you basic things. Like if you want someone to, if you want to really be independent, that's why I said it's not everybody who has that mindset of being a mentor. A mentor or a coach is someone who creates new strategies, creates new processes, creates new path, right? And they don't do it by just sitting down. They do it by learning, figuring things out on their own, formulating things that were never in existence. Like personally, I have my own content creation process that I share with my mentees. It has you do this to come up with ideas, and then from ideas, this is how you go to the first draft, this is how you go to the second draft, this is how you finalize it, and this is how you things to do before you post, right? And I did not just come up with these things by researching the internet. I came up with these things by testing and failing several times. If you go through my LinkedIn right now, I have so many posts that are below, let's say, 100 reactions. As at the beginning of this year, I did not have any post that was below 200 reactions. And I don't know what happened, but I've been using whatever happened to test and see what was going on. So even though my reach is very low, I know the post that when I create, even with a low reach, I'm going to go viral. So it has helped me to test and learn several things and see what would work and what would not work. And so if you really want to be a mentee that will depend on someone, you know that that life is not reliable. I mean, you don't even depend on God for everything. It's now human being you want to depend on. It's not it's not realistic now. It's not realistic. So the way that I see it, I would expect you to be resourceful to a certain extent. Learn how to find solutions to your problems. If you don't see a solution, then reach out. That's what makes you intelligent. Like if you reach out and say, "Oh, I have this problem. I've tried this and it didn't work." So they know that they won't give you that same solution that you've tried. As opposed to, "Oh, I have a problem and can you help me?" Then they'll give you a solution that you may or may not have tried. But when you say, "I have this problem, I tried this, and this was what happened," it makes sense. So
Okay. Yeah. So I think
yeah.
what you just said is about being resourceful. So if as a mentee, right, if you run into challenges or if you have issues with something you're working on or a task you're given to do, you're expected to first of all explore yourself, right? Try to solve the problem yourself. Then uh, come to your mentor with progress report on what you've done. If you may be able to even solve the problem, so you let them know. And if you still did not get a solution to the problem or the challenge, or at least you know you've tried and your mentor knows that you made some effort. So being resourceful, yeah,
Exactly.
so that you're not overly
Exactly.
dependent. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we have just few things to talk about before we allow you, I don't know, talk about your program, right? Because I think this session
Okay.
is basically for
All
you.
right.
You'll be giving so much tips. I don't know. I believe that people who watch this session now or after now, you're going to have people reaching out to you from here because I don't, you're giving so much. Like if I'm looking for a
Yeah.
mentor and I happen to watch this session, I don't know, I should be reaching out to you for tips, definitely. Okay, so w- w-
Thank
what are
you for
some
that.
benefits, right? Benefits that mentorship has brought you. I know you've been mentoring for a while, but I know, okay, there's one benefit, obviously. I'm going to say it, but before I say that one, what are other benefits that mentorship has brought you personally and professionally? So I know mentorship has brought you a husband, right? But what are some other things that what are some other things that mentorship has brought?
Oh my God. Oh, okay. Yes, definitely a husband, a loving one at that.
Yeah.
So other benefits that mentorship has gotten me, the obvious one aside the husband is money, right? I think I've made over 1 million naira since I started mentoring this year.
Wow.
Right. And another thing is I've become wiser. I've developed new processes. I have new systems. Like right now, I'm in a phase in my mentorship where I'm developing new processes and systems that would run on their own. So like I officially launched my mentorship in October, ending of October. So let's just say 31st October last year, beginning of November, right? And I was scaling by February, March. That's because a lot of people were reaching out for mentorship. And that's to show that what I teach in my mentorship, because I mean, I can't have all this knowledge and not try it out in my business. So, what I teach in my mentorship, I used it in my mentorship business, and I was scaling in 3 months. And from then, from February to now, I'm automating my processes. So I can say within a year, I scaled and automated my business in, so it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't mentoring people. I wouldn't have learned these things. Like right now, I think that if someone who has a business, who is trying to start out a business, reaches out to me and says, "Can you mentor me?" I think I would comfortably mentor you from start to the finish. And I did not go to a business school to learn that, right? I learned it by being resourceful, by trying things and failing and trying things and succeeding. So, I mean, it's a huge win that I've gotten from mentoring people, right? And plus the fact that I've known design way better than before. So, because I mean, one thing I do in my mentorship is that I'm always learning. Because if I don't know, if I'm using things that I learned in research as far back as 2012 to teach you today, I mean, it wouldn't be that relevant. So that means that I have to always be on my toes, learning the new thing, being on the trend, seeing what is happening, seeing how it affects my mentorship and my training. Like right now, I'm moving to a phase where I teach no code AI builders to designers, because believe it or not, UI will not be a skill in 5 years coming. That's what I believe, right? Because the way everybody is going about the AI thing, if tech has taught us anything, we know that every product that is out there will keep on trying to be the best version of themselves. So if we already have no code builders right now, within the next 5 years, they are going to be way better than they are right now. And you want a founder to come and pay you, let's say 500,000 naira, to spend 3 months designing in Figma, when they can sit down within a week, spend $25 on a month of a no code builder and have that same product, even if they don't have the back end, even if they don't have the back end implemented, the UI is already taken care of. You understand? So if you really want to be relevant, you have to be on your toes. You have to be very proactive about so many things. So I'm learning, I'm teaching, I'm making my processes better, I'm making my teachings better, I'm making whatever I impact in you in a way that,
Yeah.
3 years, 5 years from now, you don't become irrelevant. You don't become something that will just be easily discarded. Because right now, our competitors are no longer fellow designers. Our competitors are fellow designers and AI. The problem that people have with AI no code builders today is not UI. It is not. They are so good with UI. It's backend, breaking the website. And how do you fix it if you are a Figma designer? You can't. So it's these are the things that mentorship has taught me. The fact that I'm
Well,
building an AI tool today is from my mentorship.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really
I
impacted me,
think
honestly.
I don't know if I was to follow your conversation or what you said about no code, Figma, design being here, or what's going to happen in the next 5 years. I don't know. That's going to take us in a different direction. But I'll leave that conversation for some other time. So we'll stay on topic for today. But um,
Yeah.
one thing you've said, basically, everything you've said is the fact that as you get to mentor people, then there's always this need to learn, right? Because there are new challenges. Your mentees are coming. The reality is changing. The space, the tech space, design space is changing. You need to be on edge so that you can teach people. Now, the things you learn have been useful to you in your business. So it helps you improve your business, and also it helps you improve, of course, what you teach your mentees, right? So I don't know. It's basically, I don't know, do I say win-win? It's just something feeding back into itself, right? So then, of course, the amount of money you've made so far this year just for mentorship alone. So, okay. I
Yeah.
think before we, the next bit is, I don't know, you may not dwell so much on this because I believe, definitely, no, I believe, definitely you've spoken about it, being resourceful, setting expectations. But if someone was to, okay, if someone was to reach out to you today, right, what are some qualities that you look out for, right? So I know not everybody, I don't know if you accept everybody who pays you or who pays for your session. Like, okay, rather than paid, I must be in this program. But I think that apart from somebody paying you, right, there are also some things you look out for or you expect to accept somebody into your program. Because of course, so people have the money and they'll come and stress you. So how do you ensure that because you have the money doesn't mean that I'll be your mentor, right? So what are some qualities you look out for today?
The only quality I look out for is, can you pay me? It's funny, but that's the only quality I look out for. If you pay me, I'll be there.
How about employing
So
a person?
what I do is that we sign a contract. Yeah, we
Okay.
sign a contract before we begin. Before we even get on our first call, we sign a contract, right? And the contract will state the things that I'm supposed to do as your mentor and what you're supposed to do as a mentee. So that way, we know that everybody is aligned on the same goal. And then we get on the first call. In fact, before you even sign up to my mentorship, we have had that conversation on expectations and alignment. I don't allow people pay me without knowing if I can deliver on what they are looking for. For instance, there was someone who reached out to me and said, I wanted to be my mentor. In fact, whenever you reach out to me, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what challenge are you having right now that you want this mentorship to solve for you? Right. And there was someone who reached out to me like that. And when I asked the question, and after having a conversation, we discovered that this person did not need mentorship. What they needed was therapy. As therapy on life, and I was like,
Wow.
if I had just allowed this person to pay first before having that conversation, then I get on a call and then she starts gisting me about how this happened in her life and she doesn't know what to do. Me and you will be crying together. So I had to have that conversation. And sometimes people, honestly, deep down, they think they want A when what they want is B. So I
Mm,
need to have that conversation because I'm the one who knows, I'm the one who knows what I can do. I'm the one who knows what I can not do. So I have that conversation and then I say, okay, this is what I can do. Let's have you pay and then we start. But if it's something I cannot do, I'll tell you, Hoha, I cannot do this one. Let me refer you to someone who can. Like someone reached out to me and said, hey, I want to learn WordPress. I cannot teach you WordPress. I use WordPress, but I cannot teach you WordPress. I'm not confident in WordPress enough to teach you. There are still some times that I meet problems and I have to reach out to someone. You understand? So if it all
yeah.
depends on, we just have to have that conversation. Last night I had to get on a call with someone who said I need mentorship and this and that and that. The way he was talking, I just knew we need to get on a call. And I just jumped on a quick 15 minutes call with him yesterday night and we discussed and he discovered what he needed in the mentorship for. So sometimes you don't know until you have that conversation with me. You now know, okay, this is what I need. Sometimes I don't even, sometimes I ask questions and then I find out what you need. Sometimes I have to look at your portfolio to know what you need. So,
Okay. I'm not sure that one needs summary. That's quite
yeah.
straightforward. So before we move on to the closing
Yes, it's
thoughts or the closing part, we spent a while. So let me give you opportunity to talk about your program. Tell us about. I've forgotten the name of the program. I'm so sorry, but tell us about it. What you do.
Mentorix, Mentorix mentorship.
Mentorix. Yes, you just
Yeah.
shoot. Yeah.
Okay. So I know I call it mentorship, but what I basically do is coaching. And I say this with my shoulders held high. I've gone through so many mentorships and none of them come close to what I do. And I'm not saying this just to brag or just for marketing purposes, but I'm saying it because it's the fact. Like I told you, when I want to get someone's attention, I can join their program just to get their attention. I joined some programs just to find out how these people are doing, what they're doing. There are programs out there that have more mentees than I do, right? And but my processes are way better. What I teach is way better. Right? And in Mentorix, I mentioned, but my process is I basically have three programs. The ultimate one is to help you get a job. But what if I help you get a job and you're unable to deliver on that job? For instance, if a founder has already built, let's say, lovable, then design has built with lovable and is looking for a designer who would get, and you don't know what PMF is.
Network doing its thing again. All right, guys. So we are about wrapping up, right? But like we typically do, we give our guests few minutes to talk about anything they want to promote, right? Because that's one way we give back. Our guests are not paid, so they are doing this of their goodwill or from their heart as a way to give back to the community and also to help designers grow, which is our goal, right? So we don't get to pay them for when they come as guests to our sessions, our podcast sessions. So we to ensure that we find a way to give them back, we enable them promote the business, their product, service, or whatever they have, right? So she's going to join back and we're looking to wrap up. But if you've been here or if you've been following through so far, this session for me personally has been very helpful. I believe you have found it very insightful too. So in the next few minutes, when she joins back, we're just going to give some closing thoughts and we are going to call it a wrap. Before she joins back, let me do a bit of announcement. So yes, our live design sessions have started. We've done two versions, brand identity designs, right? And the next phase is to actually design the product for the brand that was created. So it was supposed to happen today, but because we had the podcast session, it did not happen. But it's going to happen next Saturday. So next week, Saturday by 12 p.m., live designs would resume and we're going to be creating a website following the processes that are required, right? Of course, we have the typical design process, but depending on what we're looking to do, we may adjust the process, but it's going to be live for you to follow through and learn. Um, Janefrances, I see you are back. Can you hear me? Or should we just call it a wrap right away? Hello? Okay, so before she joins back, I don't know, we may have to wrap up if she's struggling to join, but she has a mentorship program called Mentorix. And of course, you've heard her talk about things she's learned and also the benefits of our sessions to our mentees. So she has proven from this conversation that she knows what she's doing and she's very good, right? And she's been able to, you can see our testimonies on LinkedIn. She's been able to help designers grow, get jobs, and also to scale their career, right? So I expect you, if you are a junior, mid-level, even senior, someone just looking to move forward in their career and you need help or you need someone to talk to, please reach out to Tim Frances on LinkedIn, right? And she's going to guide you on what to do. Of course, it's not free, right? But I don't know, depending on what you want to do, you can engage her on LinkedIn and see so if you can take it up from there. But do well to reach out. Yeah. I see you are back. I'm just helping you sell market before you come back. Okay. So can you speak now? Okay. I can't hear you saying anything, but I see you're here. Let me just give 1 more minute. If I can't hear you say anything, I'll just wrap up this session for today. But it's been a very good session so far. Okay, anyways, I'm glad that we're able to even do this because network has been crazy. We have postponed this session before, And still today, we've still had issues with network, and it's even happening now. But I'm just going to wrap up. I think she's off again. So yeah, I would advise you watch this session from the beginning to the end. It's on YouTube. It's also on LinkedIn if you are following now. And of course, we're going to have short versions, extracts on our YouTube and TikTok platforms, so you can just get the key highlights of the things that you actually need to learn. So look out for that. But for now, I think we should call it a wrap. It's been more than an hour, right? There's a part I would have loved that to share. But anyway, so if you're looking for a mentor today, one thing you can do is, of course, identify the areas where you need to grow. So, what areas do you really need to grow on? So, identify those areas. Look for people who know what they're doing, right? Who have the knowledge that will fill the gap of what you're looking to learn. Study what they put out there, right? To identify ways you can reach out to them. So look for areas or places where you know that if you reach out, you get their attention. It may not be LinkedIn, it may not be Twitter, it may be Facebook, social media, you get people who get their attention and make sure that you can get people join country career.
Oh my God. I can see that we're still live. Uh, oh my.
Okay. Can you hear me? I can hear you. So I think we should wrap up.
Okay. All right.
So I've already done the talks here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
we
anyway,
definitely should because I don't know, network
yeah,
is still
and
reloading.
it's what last time. But thank you so much for
Sorry.
everything you have shared. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All
I
right. So
can
I'm
hear
saying
you.
thank you for everything you have shared so far in this session. It's
Yes,
been
yes, I
a
can.
really insightful session for me and also for our listeners. So for everybody who has joined today's session, see you in our next episode. But of course, remember that we have weekly sessions, weekly Twitter spaces where we catch up on happenings and news, trends, and share resources on Twitter. So see you on Wednesday at our catch up live Twitter space, and also see you on our next podcast episode on Saturday, date to be communicated next month. From now till then, peace out.